Hello and welcome to Danger Zone episode 9. We made it episode 9. A lot of people said that we wouldn't make it here, but here we are. You know what? Let's introduce these guys. JHL22 up my top left here. SupaPhill, top right. Always good to point them out. I'm bottom center. But a lot of people's podcasts don't last 9 episodes, I'd say there's probably thousands of podcasts out there that have just like lasted 3 episodes max, right? What do you think?
Yeah, nah, max 8. No one gets to 9. 9's for the real OGs. Eight's where the losers
I'm
end.
serious though. Like you're like joking, but like
I don't know, probably.
you know, it's like that thing like back in the day when I was like uploading YouTube like walkthroughs and stuff. It'd always be like, oh, Sharpie plays this game, episode 1, maybe in episode 2. And that's it. And then like I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm the same. I think I have 8 episodes of Pokemon Fire Red. I think I have 5 episodes of Assassin's Creed Revelations. Yeah, I was exactly the same. So,
but
you're
anyway,
not wrong.
Anyway, how we doing, guys? How we doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm feeling very good actually today. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like I'm ready for a chat. You know, I'm ready to hang out with the boyos.
It's time.
So when you're talking about like, you're excited about, most podcasts don't last. I get excited for the podcast every week. I'm like, this is the hour. You know, we sort of like, I want to chat to you boys during the week, and this week I actually hung out with both of you at certain different points. And, you know, we're just like chatting away, and I'm just like thinking, I'm like, actually, wait, we should save this for the podcast. You know, but yeah. I don't know, I'm just excited. I'm ready to go. How are you, James? How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Had a day off work today, so that was nice. Me and Aaron spent some nice time together, which was nice. We played games.
Bevs today.
Games you should play.
Well, we can talk about that later.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, Aaron probably advertised for his new favorite game, the next Battlefield.
That is absolutely Battle Bits remastered. Get around it. If you like Roblox, and if you like Battlefield,
you can actually finish Battlefield.
Hey, you got to admit it did have a lot of features. Like it was pretty featureful.
No shit. It is better than Battlefield 2042. It is genuinely better. It's the same game, just with less graphics. It's just better.
Aren't they thinking of making that free to play now because their like player base is dead?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even still play it. Finish the game first.
Finish the game. Yeah, isn't it like heaps of bugs and stuff wrong with it too?
I would abandon the game, just like get everyone like, I don't know, refund. I don't know how you like do it. They honestly stuffed it up so bad. I think the best course of action for them would be, like off the top of my head, I haven't thought about it much, but just to like give everyone refunds that want to, have like a real small team, like putting updates out that need to be done, and just getting all the resources onto making an actual decent game, like another Battlefield or whatever. If they're even going to be able to, I don't know, because like obviously like the
It might be the end.
The partners and stuff will be like, all right, move on to something else, or because that was
all the sponsors and everything.
It was an epic fail, like shareholders and stuff, and I don't know, man. No idea.
It's not be another Battlefield though. Whether they fix this game or not, it's not going to be the end of the
but
IP.
Imagine like they can't create hype for it now. Like no one will
buy into it.
Nah.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is the Battlefront 2 release was a disaster, and then ended up being like, really well received by the end of its cycle. But clearly,
that's true.
They put more work into fixing that than's been put into fixing Battlefield at the moment. I feel like.
Yeah.
And they're probably different issues.
Didn't Simo posted a thing in our group chat today, James, how Call of Duty's not going to make a game next year.
Yeah.
So 2023 they're not going to make it.
It's
a rumor. So I think they're going to make one at the end of this year. Is that right?
Modern Warfare 2.
I'm hyped for that. I'm hyped for the sequel to Modern Warfare, like the latest one. I love that game. That was a good one, in my opinion.
So what is that going to be? Is that going to be like a new game with like a remastered version of Modern Warfare 2, or is it just Modern Warfare 2?
It's just Modern Warfare 2.
Okay, but just
new
today's graphics and stuff.
And there'll be Warzone 2 coming out as well, so maybe that's why they're not doing a game next year, just to put all their focus in the new Warzone.
Yeah, try and
potentially.
keep building off that.
It'll be the first time, if the rumors are true, it'll be the first time they haven't had a yearly release since 2002. So 20 years, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. What even were those early COD games? I know was that
Call of
just
Duty,
like COD
Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3.
3 and
Yeah.
then COD 4?
No, they had games in between that weren't numbered.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Pacific something. Call of Duty.
There was a few.
Yeah. There's a couple.
Oh,
But
no, I
and
used to
Captain
play the Call of
Price.
Duties. I used to play the Medal of Honors, Medal of Honor Rising Sun.
Oh
And
yeah,
the campaign on that was awesome. Remember the like 2-player campaign, and you're on the aircraft carrier at Pearl Harbor. You put out the fires and stuff.
We probably played that together, didn't we? We must have.
Probably.
That was some of my favorite. Like that got me into like the war shooters and stuff. Medal of Honor, the early ones. Yeah.
I remember going back and playing a couple of them, and I got into them after they were like released for a couple of years.
Yeah, because back in the day you could do that, but like these days everything comes out so fast, and like there's so trends, and like everyone's moving on to the next game in less than a year, and you know it's crazy. It's crazy.
So, Mr. Sharpie, Aaron, my friend, we went out on Friday night for your lovely wife's birthday, and we were at the bar buying drinks when we first got there, and we were waiting for ages, whatever. I think I got snobbed actually a couple of times, like by the bartender. She didn't want to serve me. She served like 3 other people that like came next to me, like that were like.
Did I
there.
see that? Was I there with you?
Maybe. I think you went.
It happened
you might
like
have to go on the
it
toilet or
happened.
something.
I remember seeing it happen, like even to me and Nate or something. I don't know. Remember.
She didn't serve me, and then a new girl started her shift or just came to help out, and then she pointed at her and she goes, "Oh, this guy needs to be served." I'm like, "Oh, thank God, at least someone's coming over." And you're like, "Whatever you buy, I'll get you one." Like, we'll just whatever. And I'm like, "Oh, hello." So like, no worries, I've got a license here. So I came back with 2 espresso martinis, and they were fantastic. But after we had those, we were seated outside the front of the actual place, and then they had like a beer garden at the back that we didn't know about or whatever, or maybe that just opened up or something. And as we were heading to the beer garden, I think I was in front of the people that I was with, and I had me martini in my hand, and I've walked into the toilet, right? And on my left, the male toilet, right? On my left, I see 3 girls coming out and 2 girls coming into this corridor. And my head just went, "Oh, no worries. That's the girls' toilet. Beer garden's the other way." After we had the cocktails beforehand, you know where this is going.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've gone done my thing, take me a little piddle, and I've washed my hands and come out, right? And I've hit a straight left, which is walking out of the male thing to go left. So if you were walking the other way, I would have hit a straight right, which had a sign on the door which says female toilet. But obviously, I've just come out and taken 1 step and opened the door, and I've walked into the girls' toilet and gone, "Oh, fuck," and then spilled half my drink and turned around.
That's so funny.
But I just thought, like, oh my God, it was so embarrassing. And just that split second of walking into the toilet and seeing 3 girls coming out and 2 girls walking into the beer garden at the perfect time for me in my little drunk state to think, "Oh, that's the girls' toilet. I'll go the other way." So, yeah.
It was weird. It was like a really tight corridor hallway, but there was like 5 people in it at all times. It was like, Jesus.
Yeah, no, that place was okay. And then you came back with a surprise cocktail, and they were Netflix and chill.
We had a bit of a Netflix and chill. Me and Phil did.
Yeah, and the first taste was weird. They're like this peachy flavor.
I don't know, like it's fruity,
it's like fruity peachy mango kind of thing. But like after
pineapple,
2-3 sips, you were like, "Ooh, give me more, give me more."
Yeah, it
give me
wasn't
more."
bad.
And
You
I
got
thought
used
it
to
was
it.
delicious. Yeah.
But on top was sprinkled some popcorn, which was a nice touch. And like popcorn on top of a drink might sound weird, and it is. It was alright. It wasn't bad. It wasn't worth it, monetarily wise, but it was good. It was good.
Yeah,
why were you guys buying cocktails at the next place you went to? Wasn't the first place you went to bottomless cocktails?
Because Aaron said when he went back, I said I'll get the first round, and then he's just like, "Oh, you get me whatever you're having." I'm like, "Can I surprise you?" And he's like, "Yeah, surprise
It
me."
was kind of like we kind of just
Yeah.
challenged him and like to get something a
we
bit
went big ego
ridiculous.
thing, and he won because the espresso martini was okay, but Netflix and chill was better.
You
And
you
then we were
definitely needed
like-
the taste for both of them. Like
Yeah.
it could have easily gone wrong, but it was all right.
Any cocktail is a good cocktail.
But then after that, we would
Yeah.
looked at each other and we're like, "Beer now, yeah, beer." Like that was like $40
That's
straight
enough.
down the drain.
That's enough.
Yeah. In the middle of the city, just price gouging, an extra $5
Yeah,
a
but
drink just because of the location.
The cocktail and the pizza place, me and Sophie were talking about it. It was okay. Like it wasn't great. Like it sounds amazing, bottomless cocktails and unlimited pizza. Like it was good. I think there was like 5 different pizzas. There was like garlic. There was a cheese. There was a what is it? Prosciutto.
Bruschetta.
Yeah, ham, whatever. Just like fancy ham. Whatever you want to call it. There was like a tandoori chicken, and I don't know if there was another one, but they also were bringing out pasta like carbonara and stuff. And they're just bringing out tons of it, like some chips and like, and the cocktails. There was about 4 or 5, so there wasn't like a massive, selection. But there was this blue one. It was alright. Fruit tingle.
Fruit tingle.
It was good. It was a good one.
Yeah, I love fruit
and we
tingle.
kept.
The fruit
We're like
tingle
more of them,
shakers.
more of them. Give me the slurp. It's the slurp juice from Fortnite. And
Yeah.
I was the only one saying that joke, but whatever. I liked it. Yeah, it was alright. It was good. It was good, but it did definitely seemed like they were a little weak because obviously,
Yeah, they always are.
yeah,
It's
like
like going
it's
to,
understandable, but
Kind
kind
of
of
ABC and getting the jugs as well, like same thing.
Yeah,
just
it
filled
was
with
exactly
ice.
like that.
They're
Actually,
really they're delicious, but they're not super strong.
too bad you can't
But you
go
don't
back
buy them
there.
because they're strong. They're also $20. No, I can. I've been there since.
No.
I've been
No,
back. So
no,
yeah,
you're
happy
banned, mate.
days. Nah.
You're banned.
No,
But I should,
I'm
though.
not banned. I'm not banned. I've been there. Speaking of birthdays, I'm looking forward to this year because looks like it's going to be my first birthday in 3 years where
Oh, let's go.
we haven't been in lockdown. Like last year we were in lockdown, year before we were in lockdown. Paige didn't have any birthdays in lockdown. She happened to, all of them were outside of it. So I'm looking forward to
Lucky.
figuring out what I'm going to do for mine. Probably something similar to that, whether it's probably not that exact place, but go somewhere holy moly or just get on the beers.
Get
Yeah.
on the beers. Get on the beers. Yeah. Nah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Should I do something for my birthday? I don't know.
Absolutely. We should do something. Yeah.
I'd like to. I don't know. I think us 3 should go out, Danger Zone, and we do a live podcast from somewhere.
Just like in the middle of the city somewhere.
Yeah,
Is that
like
a pub?
legit. And like, if
And
we
bring out
get
full
some
kits
drinks
and
in,
like a generator or something.
if you get some no. if we get some
Imagine
drinks,
that.
if we get some drinks in us, like we'll have like 20 guests in the night. Just be like, come here, like, and then they'll come and they'll say some. Actually, maybe that's a bad idea.
Crazy stuff. Yeah, crazy stuff. And
I
they'll
mean,
try
like
and
the
steal your
last time
monitor.
that you got really drunk in the city with me and you were like taking photos with people and
Yeah,
in that little arcade.
yeah, on the floor apparently. That's fake though.
It's fake news.
What's fake?
Yo.
Yeah.
No. The fact that I was on the floor in the arcade.
No, that's not fake news.
That's fake, dude.
Oh,
That
I need
is-
to hear this.
that
What
is-
happened? Come on, tell me. Tell me, spill the beans.
Oh, this was not
I don't
last year,
know.
the year before.
I
So
don't
it was like-
know.
it was like it was at the start of the pandemic. And so me, Aaron, and our friend Kobe went out for a few drinks. Did we go out for any particular reason or were we just off?
Just off your face.
No, like I was campaigning for just a night for some reason.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah.
it
I think
was
we just
due-
happened all
due
week off. So we
time.
went. Yeah, so we went to the city and we went to Melbourne Central. And in there they've got an arcade bar, so like you can play like video games and like obviously like drink while you're there and everything. And Aaron, that would have been the first time you'd been out drinking in ages. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you've drank probably a little bit more since, but that was probably like the first proper drink you've had in a
After
long
dry
time.
spell.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, like a good couple year dry spell, probably since like having kids, sort of thing. And so we'd probably had maybe half a dozen drinks, and Aaron has fucking lost the plot. Shit, you not. He's like fallen over. He's walking up to all these couples, and this is right at the start of COVID. So just when people were starting to take it seriously, but there was no restrictions. He's like trying to take photos with them, trying to get. He's walking around with his hand up. I'm pretty sure trying to get everyone to high five him, and he is like touching people's drinks and. Yeah, he started laying down on the floor in the middle of the place. We're just trying to get some water into him so we didn't have to leave. Oh, he was a fucking mess. It was hilarious.
I do remember in the arcade trying to pay for drinks with like the little prepaid arcade card that they gave me for machines and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, this one. Yeah. And they're just like, we can't use that. And they're like laughing. I'm looking at them laughing at me, but like I can't do anything because I'm so drunk. I'm just like, oh, blah, blah. It was a good time.
Yeah. Imagine that you win like a jackpot on something and you buy drinks with your tickets.
That's not a bad business idea. That would be popular.
Speaking of absolute messes when they're drunk, should I tell that Howie story, James and the Maxi?
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right. It reminded me of that when you were saying that like Aaron was up there high fiving everyone. That's what he was doing, but that was after like a full footy match of like rounds at the beers for my birthday. I think this was 2017. This was years ago. And then it was after that, we went to Crown and then we were drinking there. And I had some guy on the table with me who I was like his lucky charm. And he won like, he hit roulette, like the actual number, and had like heaps of money on it, like 3 or 4 times. I think he won like 15 grand or something at the table.
Jesus.
And like every like 5-10 minutes, he'd just throw me a $50 chip, $100 chip. And like, I'm just sitting there like, all right, no worries, all on black. Like, and then I just sat there with him kind of thing. And he was buying drinks for everyone at the table. And it was literally just him and us who were out there drinking. And then there was Howie playing the online roulettes, like 50 meters away from us. And we're all like doing okay, but we're only still in it because this guy keep giving us chips sort of thing. Howie walked up.
No, he wasn't giving me money. He was just giving you and Tia money because you were a couple. And he was like, "Oh, use this to like set yourself up." Blah blah blah. I was just winning. Like I was doing
set
good.
yourself up.
Yeah.
I don't need that guy's money.
I remember how he's going like, "Oh, can we leave now?" And he's just like, "Show me a docket," and he won like $650 on like the online roulettes. And then from there, he was already drunk, but from there, he just went to another level. Like he was just Anyway, we'll go on to try and after we left there, it was like 1 o'clock maybe on a Friday night. Yeah, maybe 2 o'clock.
Except Old Reliable.
Oh, yeah, so we went to Old Reliable #Cloud9 because that was the only place. That was the only place on a Friday that was open, and he was just like he stole some bloke's sunnies inside. Just grabbed him off his head. He was just like, "No worries, mate. See you later." And just stole them, and then started high fiving everyone. Like he'd walk up to like people dancing in this bar, and there's like high fiving everyone left, right, and center, left, right, and center. Eventually, like the bouncer kicked him out, but he knew the bouncer because he worked with him at the gym. So they took us they took us out to the back door to walk us out, and then we all jumped in a maxi together. And this is where the story gets started. So he's drunk and carrying on and everything, and like we're all having a good time, just sort of dealing with his shit because he's we're all like ready to go home. It's like 3:30 in the morning or something, and we're heading over the Westgate Bridge back to sort of where we are. And Howie's like, "Oh no, fuck, I'm gonna be sick." He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be sick." Like he's drunk
too, and I'm like, "Don't you be sick on me."
And we're all looking at him like, "No, not here, not here." And I'm like, "Where's a bag or something?" There was nothing in the taxi. And then he's like, "Taxi driver, can you pull over?" He's like, "I'm on the Westgate Bridge. I'm not going to pull over." So 3, 2, 1.
Oh no!
Hang on. You got to get this right because you would think that would just fall out, but he was smart enough to go like that, but put his other arm down to bag it at the bottom of his shirt so it can't fall out.
No!
So you're watching his shirt inflate with his.
And after that happened, I put my phone out and started filming it on Snapchat, and I was just like laughing hysterically with like the big flashing light, and all he's going is just like, "I had no choice." And that was his line. And you know what? You might think that's disgusting and everything and whatever, but how many times have you been out with a friend and they've wound down the window because they couldn't pull over or stop, or thrown up in a bag and it's stuck? Or thrown up inside the taxi, there's a clean-up
Yeah, no,
bill,
it was
or
an
out the
alpha
window.
move.
Mate, that is the biggest alpha champion move I've ever seen in my life. I reckon that
Yeah,
was
no,
fantastic.
he took one for the team. I loved it. It was the best day of my life.
Maxi didn't stop. No extra charge on that. No extra charge for the cleanup fee. No one's night got ruined by their handbags getting thrown up into or laps getting thrown up on. Mate, I reckon that was like A+ move by Big Howie.
It was pretty good. It was very
I'm
funny.
curious, what's the cleanup like after something like that?
Oh, 100%. Like shower, all clothes, like laundry.
Yeah, but like,
trough
where does he go?
soaking.
I'm like, so he holds himself like this, like he's down here, like shuffling out of the taxi,
You
and
probably
then
just tuck in your shirt.
I'm trying to remember whether we pulled over and he emptied it or if he just carried it the whole way back.
Nah,
how
it
many
just- it was-
liters?
I think it
How
was
many
mainly just
liters?
liquid. A lot of beers. A lot of beers.
Oh,
We
That's
didn't
good,
look at it,
like,
to be honest.
started the
Thankfully, it was
footy
locked
at,
away
like,
under the...
The start of footy at like 6 and then stopped drinking around
Oh,
3.
yeah, was it your birthday?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it was
went
your
out
birthday.
there.
We all went to the footy, Bulldogs
Footy.
North, and then
Yeah.
afterwards it was just the four of us that went out, though.
Nah, it was Simo, you, me, Howie,
Yeah, but
Tia.
Simo fucked off before that. Simo wasn't in the taxi, was he?
Oh, and John and Jess, they were there too, but they fucked off.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
they left a lot earlier, like at Crown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Simo was there. It was you, me, Simo,
Yeah.
Howie, Tia. I think it was a crew.
Yeah. But there was like 15 of us at the footy.
Yeah, it was a good night.
But yeah, that was good fun.
Oh, anyway, so
Parents gone.
that's all right. We went out and had a hit on Sunday.
Yes, we did.
Golf.
It was fantastic, actually.
Yeah. Now, what's your thoughts on the game? Are you like proper interested in it, or are you just like just doing it because just a social thing every now and then?
I would say I'm in between. I really like it. I'd love to play as much as possible. It's hard to find the time. I was going to go to the driving range today, but just ended up having to drive all over the place for it. And in the end, I just didn't. But I'm probably going to start. I got admin tomorrow at work, so probably going to start early and take my stuff and try and go afterwards. So I like it a lot. I watch it a little. I don't watch it as much as you do, and like I'm no expert or anything, but I like it a lot and want to get better.
I'll leave
It's
for 1
definitely
second and you start talking about
shit
golf.
of a game.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we played golf on Sunday.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
how'd that go?
The
Sick invite.
You
You know I love golf. No, I said I've never played. No, episode 100.
episode 100.
Remember?
You can't play golf.
Sorry, I'm pretty bad at golf
Alright.
too.
I'll lock that in. That's 2 years from now. I'll lock that in. Less than 2 years actually. But yeah, no, it was good. We played best ball, so it was Mr. Nam General, our friend Ryan, JHL, and myself, and it was basically like take Phil's ball 90% of the time because I'm the only one who normally plays. But it was a fun day, and I was giving everyone little pointers on holes every now and then, and I reckon I gave a little tip to James, and I think like on a par 3 or something on the front 9, and he put out his like 5-iron because that was the club that he was like, oh, I might top this, I'll get it close, and then he's absolutely nuked it. It went right because like he didn't hit it in the middle of the club face, but like absolutely nuked it like 30 meters over the green all the way to the right. He's like, whoa, I actually played a golf shot. And just the way that like after you hit that, your face was just
it went dead straight. It just went straight over the green.
Yeah. And after that shot, you were just like, oh, I did something. You were like, that's the thing with golf. You do one thing or two things around, then it gets you back the next time.
In fairness, before that, I had played nice shots, but that was probably the one where it just sort of all came together.
Yeah, and you like
it seemed like from there it's like a bit more consistency. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Just
we couldn't putt to save
try.
ourselves. Could not putt anything close to the hole.
No.
So yeah, it was funny. It was like I was trying to. Normally, what happens is when you're playing in like Ambrose or all together as a group, you have like your worst putter go first, and then your best putter go last, so you can kind of see like where the angles are. If it's rolling straight, how hard you got to hit it, because it's all about how hard you got to hit it to what it turns. And literally, like one putt would go like straight that way, one putt would go straight that way, or there'd be like 2 putts that are going like 5 meters past the hole, and I'm like, oh, this is giving me no info whatsoever.
So when
the
you're
frustrating thing is, I'll
Go,
just quickly.
please.
Just the frustrating thing is, I feel like there was plenty of times where we didn't putt bad. We just didn't get it in. Like there was a couple of long
we were like
putts
this
where
far
we
away,
just
or
skimmed it.
yeah.
So like we were so close but so far so many times.
Yeah.
It was just frustrating. It was a frustrating day on the putt for sure.
We were 3 over the whole day
Yeah.
as a group.
When you're putting, so only experience I have with golf is watching it, right? I've never been there.
Mhm.
On these greens, is it like easy to tell, like kind of judge? Like you have a look at the green, you can see the way it's shaped or whatever. Can you judge
Depends on
pretty
how-
well, like
depends on
where
how
it's gonna
obvious the green
go?
is.
Yeah, well, the course that we played, there's a back nine section of it where it's all on a hill that's like this, like, that's the slope.
Mm.
And then the greens are built like on that slope, but they're like that. But you stand up on them and you feel like they're flat, but they're still falling heaps, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you think it's going to go like a little bit left to right, like this far, but it's actually going to go that far, and you're like an extra 4 meters away from the hole. So yeah, when you look up there, everything sort of looks straight, maybe a little bit left to right or whatever, and sometimes that is the case. But if you're not familiar with your surroundings and played the course before, you can like miss them
Really
by
wreck
a
your
lot.
score, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's really obvious,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's not.
So
It's not
you
like
know, like
mini golf where you
PGA
just know.
tours.
Yeah.
All these like top golfers playing on these courses, right? So they've probably played these courses like hundreds of times.
Some of
Or-
them, depends how old they are, obviously.
Or like, they've played on it so they know the course, right? Like it's not like
They're also professionals, so they just read the green a hell of a lot better than us too.
They
And
also
they have
used
a
to.
caddy there.
They also used to have a greens book. So when they're playing that course, they used to be able to have a greens book, which would tell you the slopes and how much percentage it would fall to and which side and all that sort of stuff, and where was the peaks and everything. So
have to do
like a lot of the
math.
time, there'll be a flag over here,
You make
but there'll
golf
be
better
like
with math.
yeah, but there'll be like a backstop here, and it's like there's no way of you getting the ball to the flag because this backstop's going to kick it all the way down there. But if you land it up the top, the ball's going to trickle down to the hole. So, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that goes into it. But they recently just got rid of that, so there's no greens books anymore. So it all comes down to prior knowledge of the course and just reading everything by eye.
Your head nice and low.
Yeah, they're either like on your knees walking around it everywhere. So
Get their arms out really long and they're like,
yeah.
Who's that guy that like would putt it and like he would crawl after it or something? Like
Kevin,
he would just like like a
no,
creep.
he's the walk in. Yeah, he walks in putt. He like hits it and he knows it's going to go in because he's a professional golfer. And then before it gets to the hole, he's like hands in there waiting for it to pick it up. Yeah,
That's cool. That was
it's
a little
big
bit
power
cool.
move. Yeah.
shooter.
Anyway, I got that little story. This little thing that I reminded me of the other day, and I sort of like during the week I write notes down for the potty, and it's happened a few times. I've seen other people do it, but I eventually did it myself like a couple of weeks ago, and it's handling telemarketers.
Ooh.
And I've seen a couple guys do it before. Simo's Mrs. Old Man, James. You met
Yeah.
him, Steve? Yeah, he's like a classic Aussie larrikin kind of dude. And I remember hanging out with him when he was like had a few beers, and he got a call from a telemarketer, and he was on the phone to him for about half an hour, just shit stirring him and everything. And I thought at the time it was a bad thing to do until I'm getting stuff like this now. Like I got last week, I got a phone call from a telemarketer, and it was two digits different to my actual phone number. Like that's how much effort they're putting into it. And I'm like, Sandra, I'm reading the phone number, and I'm like, holy fuck, is that like someone who knows me? And then I answered it, and it's just like, you have missed your Optus bill, blah blah blah. You need to pay this.
They're not telemarketers, scammers.
Yeah, literally scammers. Yeah. So
Yeah,
whenever I
that's
get a
different.
scammer that's you can tell they're trying to guess that, you got to pay your Telstra bill or something. And then, trying to scam elderly and everything. I've put it to my own test, and I want to get it out there to everybody. If they're a bloke, just sit down, get yourself nice and comfy and be like, hey mate, what's your name? And then, they'll come back with
John
blah, blah,
Smith.
blah.
Hello,
My name's
I'm
John Smith.
Yeah.
Hello, John Smith. What do you like? do you like pizza, pasta, steak? What do you kind of like for dinner? And then I just start like that, and I'm just like, oh. And then they don't answer. They just want to go, can I have your 4-digit PIN for your account? I'm like, I know you want my PIN for my account,
Oh,
but
God.
man, are you a steak man? Like, what are you like, a medium rare? He's like, you like a medium rare. I'm like, I reckon you're kind of cute. You like a medium rare
Uh,
steak. How about we go to this restaurant together? You
And they
and
hang
me,
up.
you know? Hey, daddy. No, they don't hang up. They stay there because that's their job.
They're so desperate. Yeah.
Yeah, and
My,
then yeah,
my dad and I are similar to that. We've done it for years. It sort of started at first. They'd be like, "Oh, this is Telstra. You have a virus on your computer," and we'd be like, "Oh, we don't have a computer." Blah blah blah. But it sort of developed from there, and it got to the stage where either one of us would answer, and they'd be like, "Oh, yeah, your computer, this is from Telstra. You have a virus. You need to go on the computer and do it." And we'd be like, "So what are you wearing?"
yeah,
And they're like, don't tell you. And you're like, I've actually got my hand down my pants right now. Like, you've
yeah,
got such a
yeah,
sexy voice. I'm
yeah.
actually touching myself. And just, yeah. Then they do hang up. But,
Oh, really? Okay, I'll
yeah,
go straight to
sometimes
that
if
next
you
time.
get really, really weird with them, they can hang
Yeah.
up. Like, I
Is
probably
some-
can't talk about how weird I've gotten with them on
Yeah.
the phone. The ironic thing will be one day if Telstra ever actually does ring me, then it's like, oh shit, sorry. Well, I'm not with
Yeah.
Telstra anyway, so
Yeah. I when I get them on
have good fun with
the
them.
drive home from work, and I've got like the Bluetooth hooked up and I've got nothing better to do, I'm just driving home. That's when I get going.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy didn't like steak. He liked pasta, by the way. I don't know what was
Oh,
his
what a
deal.
weirdo.
Yeah. Like pasta's good, but like
It's no steak.
Have you
Yeah,
seen
it's-
Kit Boga on YouTube? He does scam calls. And he like has voice changes. He pretends to be an old lady, or he pretend to be a woman, or like an old guy. He just hides his voice, and then his goal is to drag it on for as long as possible. And like he learns all these scams. He knows exactly what's going on. He does it live on Twitch, and like he records it for YouTube, and he like has them on for like 3-4 hours at a time.
So
And like
does he
they try to
call
get
them, or does he just get lots of calls?
I
Or
guess
does he
like
just like sign up for random stuff and then when they come, he's just
I imagine like when it started, like he got a few, and then like maybe he definitely calls them back and says like, "Oh, you called it." Like he must sign up for it, but I'm sure
yeah,
like people send him like
numbers.
that they get, like
Yeah.
like, and all you need to say is like, "Oh, you called me like this one time, left a message," and
Yeah.
then say that like, "Oh, I need help." But yeah, it's honestly hilarious. Some of the scammers like they lose their mind. They just start yelling like, say that like the Google Play card. They need the Google Play cards. Like you need to pay them back in Google Play cards. You need to go to like Walmart and buy Google Play cards. It's ridiculous, ridiculously unbelievable. But apparently
Like
they still
those
get
cash
people.
up people.
Yeah, and the people
Yeah,
at like
I've seen it.
Walmart, if you go up to them and say, "Oh, I need like 10 like Google Play cards, like $25 each or something, whatever it is," they'll tell you. They'll be like, "Are you being scammed?" Like they know now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Wow.
Mm.
I don't understand. Like I understand telemarketers where they're actually trying to sell a product and they're trying to get a sale that way. And then they've tried to go out in person to sell the product, and I get that. Look, it's a bit frustrating, and those ones when they're opening up front and they're going, "Oh, I'm trying to sell this, blah blah blah," which is very rarely. They try and attack it from another angle.
Yeah.
But I try and give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, "Sorry, not interested. Have a good day, whatever," and then I just hang up.
Same with
But
door to
when they're
door.
trying to do the same. Like the face to face, they've done the effort. Sorry, mate. Like if I was actually probably interested in the product, I would, but I'm not. So
Yeah, I feel bad when they're not scammers. When they're like real people, I kind of feel bad because it's just their job. They're just trying to pay the bills, and I'm like, yeah, nah.
What about
Yeah.
in like shopping centers? Like you got the two people in the middle.
that.
You're just
I
like,
hate that.
oh,
Hate that. Yeah, no, that's worse.
Look down at your phone, like, and you go as far away as you can.
Yeah, I tend to awkwardly.
Hey mate,
like,
how you
turn to
doing
my
today?
right. I'm like, no. Actually, I have a story for this.
Yeah.
I have a story for this. So, I was like 17. So I think everyone who's here knows by now, but obviously when I was 16, I got diagnosed with leukemia. And I was walking through the shopping center with probably Simo or someone like that. and the it was either the Leukemia Foundation or it was some form of cancer charity, right? It might have been Red Kite or Ronald McDonald House or something like that. And I'm walking past and they're like, "Hey mate, you want to donate? It's for kids with cancer." Rah rah rah. It might have been World's Greatest Shave even. I don't know. It was something. It's irrelevant. Fuck. My cat's knocking my light over. And
show.
yeah, they're like, do you want to donate to the charity? And I'm like, nah, look, sorry, mate, not interested. And they kept pushing me and they're like almost following me. They're like, come on, mate, it's for a good cause. It's for kids with cancer. Rah, rah. I'm like, nah, look, sorry, I'm not interested. I don't have the money. And he's like, come on, mate, it's for a good cause. Just every dollar counts. And I was like, mate, I've literally got cancer right now. The money is going straight back to me. I'm not donating. And he's like, oh. And I took my hat off, and he's like, "Oh, sorry." I was like, I kind of felt bad doing it, but he was literally like following me down the shopping center, and like I must have been 18, but I was like, "Come on, man!" Like
you kind of feel bad, but also when you say no, it's no at a point.
Yeah,
you know
and
what I
mean. We give a lot of we donate a lot of money to, especially to like Leukemia Foundation now because of me. Like, it's not like we don't donate. So like, fuck off.
At that point, you walk up to him after you've said that. You walk up to him, looking at him straight in the eyes, reach into his pocket, grab out his wallet, grab a crisp $20 note, and then just walk away. Like, yeah, see it, mate. That's what you do.
Yeah, where's everyone's donations? Here we go.
Yeah. Dude, when I was younger, I used to get sucked into that all the time, and I didn't know how to say no. I was always nice, and I was like, I think...
You're like, yeah, I'd love to play paintball.
What's nah, it wasn't that. It was more like the foundations. It's like got yellow something. It's like a cancer foundation. Maybe. Yeah, I signed up for that for like 6 months. And it was like $20 a month or something, but you can claim it on tax. So that's where, And then there was another one. I think I sponsored a child or something overseas.
Really?
Yeah, and that wasn't like like
random.
a full thing, but it was like $10 or $15 or something a month. It was nothing.
But it's like the $10 a month, and they can have clean water or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was one of those.
It's so random.
It seems like a slightly predatory, like when they're trying to like stop you in like the shops and like
the people at the shops are way worse than on the phone or your door stoppers.
Like young people, of course, like people don't like. Honestly, I didn't have the skills. Like I don't have the skills today to like say no properly. You know what I mean? Like, and you get dragged into it, and it's like, we're not like you shouldn't be like targeting those people. You should let the young people go by because they don't have money to sign up for donations for ages, and you just got to kind of count or like kind of rely on the fact that if someone is going to be making like have like disposable income, that hopefully they decide to choose a charity or like a good cause to spend it
for
on.
sure.
But I don't know, but I totally understand why they do it because they want it's a good cause. Like it's I don't know. It's
they do it
because
it's their job.
The people selling get a commission of the sale as well. So
do you reckon they get commission?
Yep.
Yeah, they do get a commission. Yeah,
they sign you up. They get a percentage. That's
so
all those foundations.
It's under the umbrella of being for a good cause, and it is for a good cause, but it's for them too.
It'll be like 35% actually goes to the actual charity.
Yeah, and they're always like young, attractive people too, like young lads and young ladies, and they're just like they're super nice to you.
Oh yeah, when it's like a gym or something, it's always the young girls. Come sign up for the gym.
Yeah.
I work out there.
My brother used to work at the local swim center, the big one around here, and they'd have a mascot, and he'd be like walking around a local shopping center in the mascot trying to promote his swimming place, and that was like a shift that he would do at work like once a week.
Yeah. You get used to that, but like the first time, stuff that, man.
At that age, man, I was more than happy to go, "Hi, welcome to McDonald's. What can I get for you?" Like. I'd much rather do that than walk around in a mascot thing.
Yeah.
All right. Another topic I've got on the cards, boys. I can go first and tell my little story because it is a bit of a different one. But what is your most traumatic memory in your life? So for me,
get a bit personal, mate.
Yeah.
It's very, very personal.
For me, it was. I'd say wasn't super traumatic at the time, but what it did to me afterwards was, if that makes sense, I had a work accident in 2017 in February, and I was working as an asphalter at the time, and I literally just got this job like 3 weeks beforehand. And asphalting is like a super dirty job. You get like diesel and tar and asphalt all
I
over your
saw
clothes and
Mike Rowe
everything.
did an episode on it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so I was like fresh greenie, barely any training, and then got thrown in the deep end in the middle of summer because that's like their prime season. And so they gave me one pair of pants, one pair of boots, and one top, and that was it. And I was working like 45, 50-hour weeks. And this is the sort of stuff where if you wear your stuff for 2 days in a row, you're just filthy. You need to like wash and change and everything. So I was wearing my own pants, so like these stubbies work pants, but they were frayed at the bottom. And how to clean asphalt is with diesel. And we're doing a court ball at that time. Before you walk on it, you had to put diesel on the bottom of your pants, on the bottom of your shoes. Otherwise, you'd walk on it and you'd literally pick up the asphalt as you're going along, if that makes sense. And because it's a court bowl, you've got to heat it up and fix little stuff so there's no lines and bumps. And, it's just a nice, smooth road. And I was helping the roller coming back to compact it. And I had the hand lance out, which was right next to the patch that I was heading up, and the wind was heading towards me because I was a big greenie. I didn't know where to stand properly. Anyway, I'm standing on this 180-degree asphalt, and the roller's gone past, and I've moved the hand lance, the blowtorch, and it's caught my pants on fire. Now I didn't notice it caught my pants on fire until my coworker next to me was yelling and screaming because I'm standing on this 180-degree asphalt and my boots are already air absorbing heat, the steel cap boots. And then I realized once I looked down and see my whole pants were engulfed. And then this dude starts trying to kick the fire out.
Ooh.
Like of my pants, like that's like the workers that I'm working with. Like, bro, you got someone fire. Wouldn't you like try and grab like a bit of equipment, like a towel or a rag or something, and try and hit it?
Stop,
Or
drop,
like,
and roll, bro.
yeah,
Hit
literally,
you with
like I
those
had
steel
like two
steel
blokes,
toe
but
caps.
someone else thought it'd be a good idea to come in and start kicking me fucking leg. Like, that's a great idea. And then, my brain clicked and I was just like told everyone, fuck off. Like, and then went down on someone's front lawn and started trying to do the stop, drop, and roll. Did nothing because it's diesel and it doesn't want to like,
Yeah.
like burn out quickly. And I ended up just pulling my pants down. And then like dacking myself. And as I pulled my pants down, it then collapsed the fire over my pants. So that's what put it out. And then I was just literally standing there with like a burnt leg, fucking bits of fabric all in me leg and like, just all pink skin and everything. And then like, afterwards I thought I was going to be okay. It was just a burn and I was going to have some like fresh skin. Like, and then I was going to be able to work like a week later or something like that.
Yeah.
Literally, like, I was on my ass for like 2 months. I think I put on like 7 or 8 kilos over that time because there was like a week where I couldn't, no, I think there was 2 or 3 weeks where I wasn't supposed to walk. And then I had to walk with an open wound because it was like fresh skin healing. And then as I was walking with the dressing, it was literally bleeding. But if I didn't walk with it, my skin was going to become constrict and then it wouldn't expand properly. And then my leg was always going to be super tight. And then I'd have issues with it later in life. So, yeah, for me, that was like my most traumatic thing. I feel
I
like,
got a question.
see that? So, like, there is where I got burned to. That's like, and that's the scar tissue that's still there now. That there, I literally just hit on the toe ball at work. And
Ouch.
it's like, how you hit yourself and you get like a little graze and it's like that little ashy kind of, you don't bleed, but it's just like that little thing and it heals in 3 days. For me, on that area, it like takes God knows how long to heal. Like,
that was
I got a
if you were
question.
wearing work pants.
Okay.
Sorry, Aaron, you go.
No, you're good. I was okay. Yeah, mine's. I know you just said that was like your most traumatic moment, but were you telling any lies that day?
Any lies that day?
Did you tell any lies that day?
Oh, I can't remember.
Just liar, pants on fire.
Okay, so
I didn't even pick that up. That's the first time I heard that. That's good. Like, that many times I've told that story.
Really? I was
That's the first
for
time someone's
sure.
made
Definitely
that
been
joke.
said before.
For sure, like you were gonna say.
I was making a joke that like that like ashholders that I work with, they're like, you know, a bit fucking, you know,
Stupid. Start
yeah,
beating the
like,
shit out of you,
yeah, they just like, you know,
kicking you with
it's
it.
yeah, and they all like to smoke, and I kept making that joke that the bloke was kicking me leg out. It's just
A
fucking
cigarette in his
dumb.
mouth.
Was also like had a cigarette in his mouth. He was trying to light, like, you know, his durry on me leg, like, you know. But yeah,
Um,
looking back at that, yeah, like that could have been handled so much better ways. Even
Definitely.
even when I got to the hospital, one of the engineers came and picked me up. I don't know why they didn't just call an ambulance, but he came picked me up and took me there, and there was this lady like at the hospital just annoying emergency for a headache or something like that. There was something minor. She looked fine. But one of those people, you know what I mean? She's like, I've been here for 3 hours. I've been
And you
and
let
here's
this guy
me.
who's had his leg on fire come through before me?
No, she didn't see me behind her, and it was groused by the nurse. I respect her so much for this. And there's me walking in with one steel cap boot on, the other one I've taken off because the boot was wrecked. I'm wearing me monkey fucking banana thing undies because T always buys me like novelty socks and jocks and stuff. And that's what I just happened to be wearing that day. And then that was it. And then just like my work shirt. And the nurse just goes, she's going off like, "What? I've been waiting here for 3 hours. Who's more important than me?" Blah, blah, blah. And the nurse goes, "That guy behind you." And I'm sitting with like full on burnt leg out, bleeding,
Jesus.
everything. Yeah.
That's cool. I would like to see
Am I
that
right in
done.
remembering in that story that you were not wearing work issued pants because they only gave you so many? So you were just wearing regular pants that you like work pants that you bought from elsewhere. And if you were wearing
Yeah,
pants
I said
given to
that
you
at the
from your
start.
work, you didn't say that
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
said
if
that
you
just before. Yeah.
when did you say that?
When I said they only gave me one pair of pants and everything, so I was wearing my own stuff. And they were
Did I
frayed at the
like
bottom.
fall asleep for a little bit?
Yeah, 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 that's okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
when you
because
hear a
yeah,
story
I
enough,
remember
you
that
kind
being
of
a thing
just
from a while ago.
nah.
Yeah.
So
Shit, sorry.
traumatic events.
Sorry, I can't believe I missed that. I
I'll
apologize.
go next. I was
Okay.
thinking like one came to mind, and then I
Yeah.
thought of like another one. So I'll chuck them in together because it's not as long as your story would be because it's not that traumatic. Like I've lived a good life. Let's just say. So the first one I thought of was it was like year 7, so I was like 11, 12, 13, around that age. Riding my BMX bike with my mates. We're going down, don't know where we're going, but we're heading down the hill near my old house next to the park that used to be there.
Yeah, I know where you are.
So there's so there's a big like the field with like a just like a wooden fence. It's not like it's a fence you could crawl through if you wanted to, or let's say 2 big Doberman could crawl through. And we were riding past. My mates were on the other side of the road. I was next to this park, and then I'm riding, and there's these 2 Doberman crawl under the fence, start barking at me. I freak the heck out. I just like start riding faster down the hill. They're like biting at my feet. I'm not losing them. I'm like kicking them, and they're trying to bite at my
Yeah.
feet. They didn't bite me. Luckily, they bit my jeans. I think I was wearing jeans. They tore a massive hole in them, so I was like freaking out.
They come from the dog park?
No, this is before,
Oh,
way before. There's just 2
okay. So this is like,
Doberman unknown. Just they were there. I didn't hear any owners or anything like that. Chasing me. We So I was with a mate. I think I was riding with Connor and like Braden. You guys might not even know them.
I know who they are. I know who they
Yeah.
are.
And Connor like somehow he like it's kind of reminds me of like zombies, right? Somehow he took the aggro of the dogs and like they just ran past me when I stopped. Yeah, and they went for him, and I was like, oh crap! Like I got off with my other mate Braden, and we ran up like the stairs of a house, and we were like banging on the door, we were like, help us, let us in. They didn't. They weren't home, so we were kind of like at the mercy that the dogs weren't trying to kill us at the moment. And then we're like, crap, we gotta go for Connor. We gotta go check on him. So we went riding down to find him, and another like kilometer down the road, we saw him coming back, and he's like, oh yeah, I lost them. Like the dogs just like, gave up, looked at something else, and like went for something else. So yeah, and then I had like a massive fear of dogs. I'm still super wary of dogs because like I know how like dangerous they can be, but like for a while there, I was like I saw a dog, I'd like freeze up. But yeah, the other story was at work. 2 weeks into the job, I was mixing my first cheesecakes, and then I hear this screaming, like loud screaming, coming from the other side of the bakery, and I'm like near where the packers are like packaging the bakery goods and about to put them out, and yeah, I hear this screaming. I'm thinking like instant first thought was like someone scared someone, or maybe like they're playing around like a tickle. I don't know, because like I don't know these people, I don't know their relationships and stuff. And then the same scream happens again, so it's like like that, and then I'm like looking over. This one of the there's two women. One of the women is stabbing the other woman with like a knife that she went and got from the other side of the bakery apparently. And I don't know, she was stabbing. Everyone kind of rushed over, and like I remember rushing over, like not really knowing what to do, but like I was just going towards them. I guess I was about to try and help. The supervisor already came in, who was closer, grabbed the smaller girl who was doing the stabbing, and got her away. There was this other woman who got stabbed. She had about 7 minor stab wounds. There was blood. Everyone in the bakery was like shocked, obviously. A lot of the women in there were crying. The guys were like, what the heck is going on? And yeah, then I went home. It's like, all right, that's it. And I still work there till this day.
I've never heard that.
I remember hearing that ages ago.
Yeah, so
I never ever have heard that story.
Yeah.
Maybe I
it's
haven't. I just
crazy.
don't remember. But
Nah,
I don't feel like I've
I
heard
don't.
that.
I don't say it
What
too many
happened
times.
after the end of that? Did she go to jail and everything?
She did some. I heard that she did some like she didn't go to jail, like she did some like bullshit stuff. I don't know, like therapy and some, I don't know, some sort of service. But
I believe you led with the dog story.
yeah, that's the one that came to
finish on
mind.
the
Like
good
it was more
notes.
traumatic to me. The only reason like this one was traumatic, like obviously it was messed up, but like for a while, like if I remember it, I could still hear the screams in my head, and it made me like shiver.
Yeah.
It made me shiver. But it didn't affect me too much,
Shit.
Yeah, that's it.
It's there, but it wasn't
Jesus.
like you were like doing like you were getting stabbed yourself.
No.
How much
You know,
like
like,
seeing
maybe
someone
it
else
was-
get stabbed would be worse than getting stabbed yourself, though. Not
Luckily,
pain-wise, but traumatic.
luckily, this woman. So the woman that was doing the stabbing was a smaller build. The woman that was getting stabbed was a bigger build, we'll say. So like the damage inflicted, like if it was the other way around, I could like see a death. I don't know what she was doing. Like if you're gonna stab someone,
How the
like-
fight started or anything.
yeah. Apparently they had one of them was from a different department that came over to help. And apparently they had disagreements before, and like known disagreements, which is interesting, a bit of drama. But yeah. So like
She just clicked one day.
it would have been way
Nuts.
worse if obviously this woman was murdered. But
yeah.
she survived.
Or, like,
Wasn't too
big
bad.
stab wounds. Sounds like they were fairly minor wounds
They
from
were
what you were
minor,
saying.
but like obviously it was a stabbing. So
Yeah.
No, I get why the dog one's more traumatic, especially like you're like
I
how,
was
how
younger.
old
I
were
was
you when
younger,
that was happening?
like maybe 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
How about you, James? Anything that you want to share or?
It's a deep
Yeah,
question, bro. Jesus.
I don't know. Mine's probably not as traumatic as yours, but so when I was sick, obviously when you're on chemo, you like don't have an immune system. Basically, chemo is just poison, and it like kills all your immune system, and then tries to kill off the cancer as well. So, obviously, I was at high risk of a lot of things, and there's a pneumonia called PCP. Don't know what it stands for, but it's really high risk of patients on chemo. So you take these tablets. Taking tablets like originally, and they're big ass tablets. They're like this big. I'm exaggerating, but they were really large. At first, I was taking them every day, and then as I became as I started to wean off chemo, like when I was in remission, and so it was just like monthly chemo and stuff. It was that I was taking the tablets once a week or just on weekends or something like that. Whatever it was weaned down. And I ended up one day, so I just hadn't been taking them because they were hard to take. And I kind of just thought, oh, I'll be fine, whatever. And I was at my dad's house one day and I was in bed and I was coughing and wheezing and couldn't breathe. And like I was laying down and I was all right. And I tried to sit up and I literally could not breathe if I sat up. I was going purple in the face, couldn't take any breath. It was literally like the smallest of small breaths. I couldn't get up and go to the toilet. I couldn't do anything. I had to get my dad to like help carry me to the toilet. And I was laying in bed for like a day. And then my dad's like, we need to take you to the hospital. And I was like, you need to call an ambulance. I can't sit in the car for 40 minutes. I can't sit up. I need to get an ambulance. I can't get there. And he's like, no. He's like, we can get you there. We'll get you in the car. We'll go slow. You take short breaths, take like your Ventolin, whatever. And so I'm in the car driving into the hospital and like literally can't breathe. And I get into the hospital and they're like, oh, you've got PCP. And or they're like, we think you have PCP. Do like the oxygen test. You know how your O2 when you're like on the machine supposed to be 100?
No
Mine
idea,
was,
but
yeah. Mine was like 30. So it was like dangerous, ridiculously low. And I couldn't breathe and I would have coughing fits. And I was in emergency and this was just a normal doctor, so not my oncologist or anything. And my dad told me afterwards, but we were both sort of like, I'm going to die here. Like genuinely thought I was going to die because we knew that people had died from that in the past. And my dad asked the doctor and he's like, is he going to be okay? And the doctor's like, I don't know. I can't tell you. Like, we just got to monitor him. They showed me the x-rays of my lungs. They were fucking like black. They were really, really bad. So I ended up getting up into the ward and I was basically on oxygen through my nose, like actual tubes it through my nose, and then eventually on a mask for like 2 weeks straight. Like Brady and Matt came in to visit me and I had a coughing fit. And I went full on purple in the face. Like they, what they were doing as well to help was they were coming in the middle of the night and stuff and giving me Ventolin. But normally with Ventolin, you have like 1, 2, 3 puffs max. They're putting 50 puffs of Ventolin into my mouth at a time to try and clear up my lungs. So because of it, I'm like shaking. And yeah, literally like feared for my life. Like I wasn't sure if I was going to survive. And it was just awful. It was definitely like I went through, and I always say I had a pretty breezy run on chemo and cancer and stuff. But like, I definitely went through some stuff, but that was by far the worst. Like me and my dad genuinely didn't, like, we thought I was going to die. Like we didn't know if I was going to get through. We feel like if I didn't go to the hospital that night, I wouldn't have made it through the night at home. Like it was pretty fucked up. So that was not so much traumatic because I'm not bothered by it now. Like it's just what it was.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say,
at
like,
the time it was pretty like intense.
Yeah,
so is that one of those things like at the time it was traumatic because you didn't know and the fear and everything, but now you're okay about it? Because sometimes I think with me, like with me, my thing when it happened, I was okay about it, but afterwards when I look back at it, I'm like, that was fucked up. Like I can't believe that was just like I thought that was normal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
nah, I'm okay now. It was even at the time, like once I was on oxygen and stuff, I was sort of okay. It was just like going in, I was like, I'm gonna die here. Like I'm not getting through. I'm pretty chill. Like you guys know, I'm pretty fucking chill. Like not a lot. It would take a lot to bother me. Like getting cancer was not really bothered. Had thousands of ulcers in my mouth, wasn't bothered. Like I went through some shit and like none of it really sort of got to me. Like it was just, what's the point in getting upset? You just move on and deal with it and stuff. But I was pretty rattled when I couldn't breathe. And then my oncologist came in and they're like, I don't know why the emergency doctor wouldn't say that to you. This is like 3 days later. She was like, we haven't lost someone to PCP in 20 years. And I was like, fuck.
Oh my God.
So
oh my God.
it was kind of like,
what?
Yeah, but it was pretty, at the time, it was hard. And I can only imagine, sorry, got the sound going off. I can only imagine how fucked up it would have been for my dad, especially now that I'm a parent. Like being on my end is like whatever, but being that and seeing that would have been terrible. And I like, yeah, so yeah, it was pretty bad. That's the only time I ever feared for my life the entire time. Like I got cancer and I was like, oh yeah, that's fine. We'll just go through chemo and I'll be right and shit like that. And I'd be sick and stuff. But like I sort of knew the leukemia I had when you're under 18, it was like a 90% success with chemo. So Like, you know, you just think of the odds and you're like, oh yeah, whatever. But I was genuinely like, fuck, I'm gonna die here. So that was probably it. It's not traumatic now, just at the time it was hard. So, but yeah, I don't really get bothered by a lot of stuff, so I don't really have anything that like to this day haunts me or anything.
Okay,
I
so
don't know.
like you led off that story, you were like, yeah, it's probably like less traumatic than you guys, but like,
I nearly died. Yeah.
yeah, like I think you
yeah.
win. I think you win.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Brady can recall the hospital visit.
Yeah, he said
I was like
it's
on
bad.
full on oxygen, and yeah, it was pretty rough. It was very hard. I couldn't breathe properly. If I took the mask off even for a couple of minutes, I like could not breathe. It was terrible. But yeah,
Yeah,
that
I'm
was
glad
mine.
you're here, man.
I remember
Thanks, man.
my brother had a
Actually, the first person to say that.
my brother my brother had like a birthday party or something. I think it might have been his 21st, and I'm 7 years younger than him, so I was like 14 or something. And this was like a couple of weeks afterwards. And mum's woken me up for some reason. I think he was either I was the only one home, if that makes sense. So out of all my brothers, it was just my mum and myself. And my mum's come into my room at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. She's like, Phil, I think someone's breaking into the garage. And I'm just like, what? What's going on? You know, kind of thing. And all I'm wearing is jocks. That's it. And I get up and I'm like, Mum, what do you mean? Like, she's done this before where, like, you know, it's just a possum or there's a cat there or, you know what I mean? It's just like a normal noise. And then I get to like the front door and I see like this light flickering through the garage. And my front porch, it's like a porch here and then it's like a side door that leads into the garage. And so I'm seeing this light flickering and stuff like that, and I just slam the door open, and I'm like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like just freaking out, like just trying to sound as big as and intimidating as I can. And there's like four teenagers just sprinted out of the garage all at once, all wearing hoodies and like runners and stuff like that. And we've got like at the time we all play sport. We've got like cricket bats worth heaps of money, like equipment in there. There's like stuff that's pretty valuable and everything. And all they were after was the leftover beers from my brother's 21st birthday.
All these mates.
So I reckon they're like someone's friend who like maybe want to come to it or whatever, or someone's younger brother, then like, you know, said, oh, whatever. And then they're all stocked up, like there's cans falling out on the driveway. I remember picking one up and I was like running outside and like chasing someone, like, you know, like with a beer can, like all of me jocks, like trying to sound all scary with a beer can, piffing it at him. It was pretty quick, you know, I think I frightened the shit out of him. But yeah, I don't know, that little story came up in my head.
You
But
know,
ever
and
since then, like that was nothing, but it's like a little thing in the night. Like, you know, you just think, oh, fuck, what's that? You know, like it's just that little
you know that's a
in
good
the back of
story
your
for
head.
them as well. They got a good
Oh,
story
yeah.
out
They
of it.
got away. Yeah,
Remember
they
that
got, oh,
time?
yeah.
They're probably saying it on their podcast right now.
There was this like tough guy who was like
Nah.
huge. We didn't see him, but he had this really deep voice. Oh my
And he
god,
was-
he was going to beat the
oh.
shit out of us.
No, that's where you're
Thought
wrong
that
because
made
their
me kitty
podcast
cat.
didn't last 9 episodes.
Oh.
Their podcast only lasted 2
They planned
episodes.
to do it episode 9, but at episode 8, they're like, we can't keep doing this. Pretenders. Talking about stuff like that, just quickly, because I know that we're like sort of getting to the end. Paige nearly got carjacked like 3 weeks ago.
What?
She was driving home from work at like 11. Actually, I think did she have overnight? It was either like 11 o'clock at night or like 5 o'clock in the morning. And she was driving down, you know, the road on the main road here when you go past like the Coles on the side, like near my house.
The new Coles?
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
And there was her and there was just a car in front of her, which was the only car on the road, and they were going really, really slow. And Paige was like, "Oh, this is really weird. Why are they going so slow? Whatever." Thinking it might just be nothing, someone old or tired or drunk or whatever.
On
But
their
she's just
phones, yeah.
driving. Yeah, and then all of a sudden the car stops just in the middle of the road, and like 4 or 5, yeah.
Suspense, the suspense.
It's the JHL show.
Paige needs the adrenaline.
It's the JHL show.
Did you get it?
It's the shopping show.
Oh,
Danger
sorry.
You're giving her
Yeah, and so
PTSD.
she like the car stops, and all of a sudden like 4 or 5 people get out. It's too dark for her to see them or like see what they look like or how old they are or whatever. And I think she said the car didn't have plates, and they start walking towards her car because she stopped behind them. And so like there's no one else on the other side of the road, so she just gets on the other side of the road and speeds off. But like they just stopped in front of her and started walking towards her car, trying to do whatever. It's
Damn.
pretty fucked up.
I feel like half like 50-50, like people would just stop and like freeze, and like the other 50% would just drive off.
Just
So
kick into go mode. Yeah,
Yeah.
do something,
Yeah,
drive around, or
yeah.
reverse or turn around, do something. Yeah.
Very relieved to hear she drove off, but I was like, oh shit. So that was
Yeah.
pretty messed up.
Have you ever been in a car accident before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
It's in
mum
a
used
hit
to
and
have
run.
my mum used to have a Tarago. And there's a people mover, and when she's got 4 kids and takes the kids to places everywhere and everything, a lot of loud noises in the car and all that sort of stuff. And she got distracted and she worked long hours and everything. She picked us up from school on this 45 angle park, right? And it's literally like me, my brother, my younger brother, my Matt's mates in the car. There's like 4 or 5 of us or something in the car, and we're all gas bagging, talking shit after school, laughing, joking, carrying on. And she's reversing out of this 45 park, no, like, just spaced out completely. And there's this orange Commodore, just literally like busy school time traffic, like sitting right behind her, can't move, can't go forward, can't go back, and mum just goes straight back into it. And all I remember is just sitting in the front seat, and I remember like actually seeing the car in the reverse mirror. I was like, "Mum, stop!" And then bang, she hits it, kind of thing. Because everyone else could hear the beep of the horn behind it because we were all so loud in the car. But I just remember the school, like friends walking past us. John was walking past us at that time. He's just like, "How the fuck did you not hear that? Like, how did she not hear that person?" And not just her, like, it was other random people from the school coming past. And just one of those like little embarrassing stories. But like we had so many accidents with that car, just such a long vehicle. And I love me mum, but when you got a big car like that,
Not
you
the
need
best
to take
driver in the world.
got to take bends like a bit, wider and all that stuff. And I've learnt that lesson, driving a Commodore station wagon. And now I've got a Ute. So, but I remember me and my brother were driving down Ballarat Road, and this is like late at night, and we parked at like a red light. Just stopped waiting. There's a car that came past, did the right hand turn on the other side or whatever, and then all of a sudden, all we hear is bang, smashes in the back of us.
Oh.
Just 6 guys in a car all by themselves. Just 6 guys in like this like a Mitsubishi Lancer or something like that, and then we just got our car was fine. Theirs was just completely wrecked. The only reason why our car was fine was because of the tow ball on the back of the car. But literally, it was just like sitting there, and then all of a sudden, whack! Like And
Yeah.
then
Yeah, it's that tough.
it's just like a day
I got
ruiner.
rear-ended once. Well, I got rear-ended by someone that got rear-ended. If that makes sense.
And then you had a car crash.
Yeah, I wish I was the guy.
Oh my god.
Now tell us what happened. Come on.
We're at I was on Ballarat Road too. At the lights. Maybe it was the same lights. I don't know. Was I on? Was
Right
it?
in
Is
front
that
of the
Ballarat Road? I
Brooklyn.
don't know. Near Thirsty Camel. Anyway.
Yep, right there. That's where we had
Yeah.
the crash.
So I was driving home from work, 2 p.m. ish. I was rolling up to the lights. I think we stopped and then it went green, so we started rolling. And there's like this blue kind of like older show car behind me, like it's done up nice. It's got to be worth a pretty penny. We just start rolling, and then this Maori dude, in like a Toyota Camry, just full speed. It was like it would have been like 70 Ks or something. Just like, oh, I fell
Yeah.
asleep. He said, right into the back of him, destroyed the car completely. And then he hit up into my Astra wagon, which eventually got written off. I got a bit of whiplash, and like it was scary. I got to drive the car home. But yeah, like I don't know, it was fun, a lot of fun.
That was fun.
Get
Well,
smashed.
I was in that hit and run crash where I was in the car and they hit me and drove off
What
when
happened?
my car got written off. So I was driving down. I was playing cricket. It was the last game of the season, I think, and I was going to pick up Brad from where he was living, which was like 10 minutes down the road. And I'm driving down the main road, and there's all the streets on the side. And I'm driving, and all of a sudden I see this car pull up to the intersection and think they're going to stop. And I have right away anyway. I'm on the main road, so I'm just driving,
You're on green
and
light.
they don't fucking stop. And I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, all happens too fast to react. But she sees me, and I think she panics and presses the accelerator harder rather than braking. And so she goes into the side of me, thankfully the passenger side, because she's on my left. She pushes me up onto the center island. My car hits the give way sign. I flip around, do a 180, and sort of like lose balance, go into the gutter and hit the gutter and sort of like stop. Like I'm parked perfectly like a fucking stunt from an action movie. And so I'm just sitting there in my car. I'm like, and I look up and there's her car spun around the other way on the other side of the road. And then she just drives off.
Oh my god.
She just drove off. And I was like, what the fuck? So I quickly write down her number plate, and all of these people from the houses around come out and they're like, are you okay? Do you need some water? We've called the police, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, it's all right. And they're like, did you get a number plate? I'm like, yeah. And then someone walks up and he's like, hey, mate, is this your license plate? And I was like, no, it's hers. So her license plate fell off her car.
Did you get the right?
I wrote it down wrong. So thank fuck it fell off. It was just sitting there right next to my car.
That's epic, man.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked. And then, so like I went to the police and like I'd spoken to them and they're like, come in and make a statement. And I walked in with the license plate. My dad came and found me. I was like, actually, this was not last year, the year before. So I was 22.
I didn't know about
but it was
this.
like my first car accident. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Anyway, I walked into the police station and I was like,
okay, I
ding,
did.
here's their license plate.
No, they asked you. Did you get the license plate number?
Yeah, I would have been like, can you guys have this for like evidence, and when you don't need it anymore, can I have it so I can frame it?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what her answer was, but they got in contact with her and everything, and so my car got written off, so I ended up getting a new car, which worked out kind of good because this was a 2004 BA Falcon, so I was 16 years old at the time. It was probably worth less than $1,000, but we had it insured at a set rate of 3.5. So I got $3,500 for a car I would have sold for like 500.
Payday.
So that was nice. But yeah, and then I got some letters. They wanted me to go to court and testify, and I was like, no, I really can't be fucked. Like, there's no benefit in it for me. And I ended up getting a letter from the courts and the police a bit later. So all she ended up getting, even though she fled the scene of a crime and it was a hit and run, she just got like a couple of like a bit of community service and a couple like therapy sessions, and I was like, oh, that's fucked. But I did drive past the house one day because I then knew where they were and saw them like cleaning their car and fixing it, and I was like, oh, you motherfuckers. Didn't say anything, obviously.
There's the private example. I still
don't know to this day why they drove off. I don't know if they panicked or if it wasn't their car, so like they were like driving someone else, like driving like their mum's car or something and freaked out. I don't know, but yeah, it's pretty fucked up. Pretty bad to drive off.
See, I couldn't do that, what you did. If I got hit in a hit and run and they asked me, I'd go and testify because I wouldn't want that happening to someone else. You know what I mean?
Well, if they said it wouldn't have made a difference.
Of what she was going to get anyway.
Yeah, she was never getting jail time because she had no priors or anything like that. No one was seriously injured. So, like, there was no...
Oh, no, I wasn't going to say, like, jail time, but, like, a couple of hours community service and a slap on the wrist. And
they said it wouldn't have been any different. But, yeah, it was pretty... It's pretty stupid. Like, yeah. I was pretty lucky to walk away. Like, my car, because I went up the fucking concrete island and up the fence. Like, my car was sort of sideways and then sort of landed on its wheels. Could have easily flipped over. I was probably doing, I think it's 60 down there, so I wasn't going super fast, but like fast enough.
Yeah, to get T-boned and then.
Yeah, so it was a weird one. I didn't play cricket. Brad went and played. I messaged my captain. I'm like, I sent him photos of it. I'm like, dude, I'm not coming in, and he's like, can't you just come late? I'm like, no.
Did he really?
I'm like, I'm sore. I'm fucked up. I'm like, and I'm going to the police station. I'm like, I'm not coming to play.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay, we'll just play one short. I was like, yeah, fucking oath you will.
That sucks.
I believe it.
Mum and the Tarago were going out like the main shopping centre when you go past the roundabout in the Hungry Jacks, and we're on the right hand lane because if you stay in the right hand lane, you have to turn right at that street up ahead. So we were turning left, right, and to get into the left hand lane. Now, old mate and the Commodore thought we were turning left to pull out into the side street. If that makes sense. So we've come in from the right hand lane. And he's sitting over here, and we're moving over left, and he thinks we're going to turn down here, but all we're doing is changing lanes. So because she's had the indicator on, so he's pulled out, and then at the last second he's realised. So to try and he can't stop because if he puts on the brakes, mum's either gonna try and go on around and hit the car to the side, or she's gonna, if there was a car, I don't think there was, or she's gonna hit the bonnet or hit him. So he's sped up to try and miss, and she's tried to go to the left, and she's clipped the back left of the car, and he's gone 360 across the other side of the road, full on
Jesus.
span out. Like mum's front right of the car was all smashed up. I think that's why she got rid of the Tarago in the end, because of that accident. But like, you know, couldn't open the door. She had like a bit of pains through her leg, but she was okay. But like, yeah, just one of those
Yeah.
one of
I
those
feel like
moments where,
I gotta ask you a question.
yeah.
So all this happened. Why did you keep getting in the car with your mum?
It's my mum, man. How else am I supposed to get home? You know?
I would walk, man. I would walk.
Oh, mum, should have walked there. No, you sure?
No, it was just a
So she's
Tarago.
like, I
Ever
can't
since
get
then,
you to-
she's had nothing. She's been grouse since she's got
Oh
the
no, you can't
the
say
other
that.
car. No.
You don't say that.
I thought we were going to run out of car crash stories. I didn't think we had this many like left over from like a few episodes back when we were talking about car crashes and stuff. Because we were.
Oh yeah.
Like a little
Were
bit.
we?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Ah.
Anyway,
Yeah, we
speak-
talked about my golf course fence, didn't we?
yeah.
Yeah.
and like- Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No,
and
we
we
got
got like
stories
so
about
Macca's
yeah.
bollards and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You got wasn't there like a scary one when you had the kids in the car, Aaron?
No.
Oh
Not me.
no. I think I think I remember I was watching your live stream and you're like, when that crash did happen, you were just like, you couldn't fathom if like you had Violet or Iris or something in the car. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Oh yeah,
And,
that would have
like,
been like
yeah.
I would have been out of the car like fighting people in the
Yeah.
middle of the street.
Yeah.
But
like,
yeah, we're
Yeah,
over
come
time right now,
on.
boys. We're an hour and 15 minutes.
beautiful.
Oh no.
So
Well, time flies when you're having fun.
I know.
Yeah.
This is a top 10 episode for sure. Even though we're at 9.
I'd even go as far to say top 9. Yeah.
Top 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lower it
even
down.
top
Top 10 sounds better,
Potentially
though.
top 8 because first episode's a write off.
Top 8 in the state, second best in the West.
Yeah.
That's where we come from.
All right. Well, that's it there for the Danger Zone podcast. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Check the description for the links. Go check out JHL22, SupaPhill. See you guys. Take care. See you next week.
Love you.
Sweet.
Bye.